If you're in a place right now and you're questioning your relationship with alcohol, you're thinking whether you should control your drinking, reduce your drinking, or stop drinking entirely, then this video is for you. Today we're going to be unpacking 5 secrets that will make you stop drinking alcohol. And this is not going to be your typical mainstream advice. I'm not going to tell you to go to AA meetings. I'm not even going to tell you to stop drinking in this video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unpack secrets that I've discovered after not drinking for almost 6 years to help you shift your mindset to make stopping drinking the easiest thing you've ever done, the most logical and rational choice that you can make. What I want this video to do is remove the pull that alcohol has on you. Because if you think about it, when we think about exercise, we have to kind of push ourselves to go to the gym. Even after training myself for years now, I still have to give myself a bit of a nudge to put my shoes on and get out the door. Whereas alcohol, it pulled me. I would be doing something like watching a movie and it required no push for me to go to a store and buy get a case of beer or go out when a friend texts me saying, hey, want to get a cocktail down the road. That would require no effort. And it was like this force that was just ripping me and taking me wherever it wanted me to go. What I want this video to do is remove that pull. And these secrets are going to be epic. Now, for those of you that stick around to the end of the video, I do have spots open right now on my Sober Clear coaching program. So at the end of the video, I will explain how you can apply and how we can jump on a call to get you started working together through my Stop Drinking program, where we've worked with 400 clients. We have a 92% success rate. We've had clients from NASA, Forbes, JP Morgan. We've had tons of other business owners, high-level professionals. So at the end of the video, I'll get to details on how you can apply for that. Now, the very first secret that I wanted to unpack for you today is how none of this is your fault. People that drink a lot of alcohol and blame themselves as people for drinking too much, I feel sorry for them. I genuinely feel sorry for them because I did that as well. I used to think the reason why I overdrank was all because of me. I thought maybe I had some genetic disorder, right? I thought maybe I was born differently to everybody else. I thought maybe I have, dopamine that when I drink or take a drug, dopamine goes higher than everybody else's, and it's all about me. That's why I couldn't stop drinking. And when I went to AA, that added more fuel onto the fire. Here I'm getting told I'm an alcoholic, I'm an addict, I was born with some kind of disease, I've had it for my whole life, I'm gonna die with it. And if we look at society, what people like to do is when somebody overdrinks, we never look at the drug. Because if we had this underlying view that the drug was the problem, then 90% of the population that are drinking, and they're not going completely crazy, but they want to believe this lie that drinking alcohol is okay. If we had to stop blaming the people that did overdrink and start blaming the drug, then they've got to question their relationship with the drug as well. And what's much easier than questioning their own relationship is pointing the finger. Oh, it's an alcoholic. I'm not like him. I'm not like her. I just drink like a normal person. I'm here to tell you that none of this is your fault. None of it at all is your fault. How can this be your fault when the nature of alcohol is, number one, it dehydrates you, and number two is that it removes your inhibitions. So you're now dehydrated, you want to drink a drink, you have lower inhibitions, so even though you told yourself you're only going to have 2 drinks tonight, the inhibitions have gone down, you're thirstier than when you began. That's the nature of alcohol. It's not the nature of you. It makes no sense. Then add to the fact that we've had this idea pushed onto us since day one of being born that alcohol adds value. We've not had that with crack, we've not had that with heroin, we've not had that with painkillers, we've not had that with any other drug. I suppose you could argue caffeine, sugar and things like that. We've had that idea pushed onto us as well. But I suppose those drugs aren't going to get you a DUI, right? Anyway, we've had this idea pushed onto us that alcohol adds value. How can that be your fault? How is that your fault? I'm telling you, the drinking is not your fault, but it is something. If you have been over drinking, it's your responsibility because nobody, and it sounds harsh to say this and it pains me, and I'm trying to do my best, but nobody is coming to save you. You've got to fix this. It's your responsibility. Just because other people have been pulling strings behind the scenes and twisting your worldview, and just because this isn't your fault, it doesn't actually mean that much if you don't do something about it. So whilst it's not your fault, and I'm trying to remove the blame from you because I don't want you to think this is your fault. I am now going to put the responsibility back on you because it's your responsibility to fix. You need to fix it because it's doing nothing for you. So that's why the 4 secrets are going to be even more critical, but I wanted to get that out of the way first because too many people think it's their fault. Now, the second secret, it's not going to be relevant to everybody, right? In fact, if you go to AA meetings, maybe this isn't the video for you. If you've found success in a 12-step program, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. My mum has done that as well. It's been over 20 years now now that she's not drank, so I'm not here to bash 12-step programs. However, I went for about 3 months. I actually didn't drink for 3 months, so I did find success in the program. But there was a problem with the first step, and it was admitting that I was powerless, admitting that I was an alcoholic, having to go to a meeting and say, hey everybody, I'm Leon and I'm an alcoholic. I have a problem with using certain terms, by speaking certain things into the world. Because what can happen is when we speak things into existence, it becomes these self-fulfilling prophecies. And I'm going to give you an example right now. I went to a meeting, and I've shared this before, but I'm going to share it again because I think it's so powerful. But I remember I went to a meeting, and this was an NA meeting, so it was a different 12-step meeting. It was more for drugs. But I would go to both. And I went to this meeting, and I met this young man, and I saw him making a cup of coffee. So he had 3 spoons of coffee in his cup, and I looked at him like, I mean, who puts 3 spoons of coffee in their cup? I mean, why are you doing that? And he goes, Leon, don't you know? I'm an addict. I want to get caffeinated. And I was like, where did you get that idea from? And then you go into the meeting and it's, hey, I'm Leon and I'm an addict. So now we're continually telling ourselves that this is who we are. So why would we not act in accordance with this belief that we now have? We have this belief that we've got a disease, we're going to have it for the rest of our life. Well, if that's the way that I am, and I've been speaking it again and again and again in these meetings, then well, I guess I better get caffeinated like an addict would do, right? Now, there is a sad end to this story. In fact, it's an absolute tragic end. So this guy relapsed, and I remember seeing him, and he'd had like 15 tablets of Valium, and he was, all dizzy and stuff like that. And then 3-4 weeks later, my mum got a call because he was like a friend of another friend in the family, and got a call saying the guy died, got found with an overdose. Rest in peace. I mean, tragic, absolute tragic. Young man found heroin overdose and died. And I'm not saying that it was this idea that he was an addict was necessarily the cause of his death, right? Maybe that would have happened anyway. But I started to see how him giving himself this idea, because I'd met him multiple times. He was actually, he was a good guy. He had a good heart. He wasn't a bad person in any way. But other times that I'd met him, he would tell me that he's an addict. And listen, I'm not trying to scare you into calling yourself this. And that's why I wanted to have that precursor and say that if you found success in the 12-step meetings, maybe click off this video. But to me, speaking these things into existence can become dangerous self-fulfilling prophecies. If somebody really believes that they're an alcoholic and they do have a slip up, would they just get back on track really easily? Would they just say, okay, well, hang on, I slipped up, I had a couple, let's move back on, let's get back on track or whatever? Or if they had this idea that they're an alcoholic, are they just going to go? Which leads me to the third secret. Now, the third secret is something that I had to find out through trial and error. The only reason why I know about this secret is because of 10 years of failed attempts to stop drinking. I was the kind of person that would go out, would have a massive hangover, would wake up the next day, and I was like, I'm never drinking again. I have said that to myself so many times. I'm not exaggerating. It has been hundreds and hundreds of times. I wasn't the kind of person that would wake up and, drink more drinks the next day to get rid of the hangover. I'd wake up and want to cry. I'd wake up and be like, why did I do it again? And there have been times in my own life where I've done binge drinking. There have been times where I've drank every single day. But even the days where I was drinking every day, I'd wake up being like, maybe today I won't drink. Okay, the severity and conviction of those decisions have varied in degrees over the years. But I used to think that if I could just go, right, that's it, I'm not drinking alcohol anymore, and I would stop on my own with pure willpower, I thought that would get me sober. If you look at some of my clients on the screen now, like Todd, like Art, like Robert, like Brad, like Ramona, like David. These clients of mine, they all tried to use willpower as well. They've all tried in the past and just said, you know what, I'm not drinking again. And then a day later, 2 weeks later, whatever it was, they found themselves back in the bottle. And it wasn't until I explained to them that willpower is nothing to do with stopping drinking did the penny start dropping. When I started to explain that when you try to stop drinking with willpower and you're resisting alcohol, what's actually happening? And they didn't get it at first, but think about it for a second. If you need to resist alcohol, what you're telling yourself is that you see alcohol as something that needs resisting because you actually want to still drink it. If I told you that you need to take a week off the gym, right? Going back to that push and pull example earlier. Listen, maybe you might feel a tiny bit of disappointment, like if you do like going to the gym, but it's not hard to take a whole week off the gym, right? You're not sat at home thinking, I just want to go to the gym. It's easy, right? It's just like, whatever. But if I tell you to take a week off drinking and you've got to grit through it, it's hard, which makes no sense because we think that when we've built a good life, we've got a family, a career, a house, we have things that in our life that took willpower, then surely that's going to be the thing that helps us stop drinking. But exerting will over drug addiction is rarely effective. In fact, it never worked for me. It might have worked for a short period of time, but it never worked long term. The secret is you need to stop using willpower, change your perception about the drug, and then put it behind of you, which is what all those clients have done. Todd, Art, Robert, David, Ramona, Brad, all those people are now sober 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, 3 years, because it was about shifting their perspective of the drug to stop resisting alcohol and then making a simple, logical choice. Now, how you do that is you use first principles thinking. It's about reframing the way that you view alcohol, shifting your beliefs, getting you into a state of mind where you see the drug for what it is. But like I said, if you stick around to the end of the video, I will be explaining how you can apply to do the Sober Clear program where we work on first principles thinking together. Which leads me to the fourth secret. Now, this one is extremely important, but how many of us think that if we reduce our drinking, if we stop drinking, if we stop going out on a Friday night with our friends, how many of us have this fear that life will actually be worse off? We have this deep-rooted fear that actually stops us from taking action. We think that if we remove alcohol from our life, it won't be better. It's going to be worse. And that is sometimes, you might even have heard me say that and think, nah, of course it's going to be better. But this is a deep-rooted belief that's so deep in your mind that sometimes it's not even conscious, which is why I wanted to unpack it now to help you bring it to the forefront of your own mind. We have this idea that if we remove alcohol from our life, we're not going to be able to relax, we're not going to be able to enjoy company with our friends. It's going to put us in a worse situation than we are right now. All this is nothing but fear. And I am telling you right now, you have got nothing to fear at all. The act of removing alcohol from your life is not going to be a bad thing. I put my hand on my heart, I swear on my life, if I'm wrong, come back to this video and tell me. And nobody's gonna come back, because how can drinking a poisonous drug add anything to your life at all? Life will not be worse off if you remove alcohol from your life. I promise you, everything will start going in the direction that you want it to go in. Your health will improve, the relationships with your family will improve, people are gonna look at you in complete admiration, you're gonna start making more money, the people that you work with are gonna respect you more, everything is gonna start going upwards. And that might not happen overnight, that might be a slow, gradual process, but I promise you, with my hand on my heart, things will get better and better and better. Colin lost 20 pounds, one of my clients. Art's business started exploding, he started hiring more employees. Nick started writing more, launched his own business. And after working with almost 400 clients, I have never heard somebody say, Leon, that was the worst decision I've ever made, I'm going back to drinking. It's never once happened. And I don't think that's happened in the history of mankind. Okay, listen, maybe there's an outlier here and there, right? But even then, those people are probably lying to themselves. Life doesn't get worse when you don't drink. When you stop drinking alcohol, that's when life begins. Which leads me to the fifth and final secret, which I think is probably the most important of all. Because without this, stopping drinking, you will probably end up failing, but with it, it's going to be 10 times easier. So a lot of us that stop drinking, we want to go to the past. In fact, in AA, that's one of the steps. We've got to go to the past, make amendments to all the people that we've wronged. Some of us think that we need to go and sit down with a therapist and unpack trauma and bad things that have happened to us. Is there a time and a place for that? 100% yes. Is that truly going to help you stop drinking? Maybe. I don't think so, personally. I think that once you've stopped drinking, it's great to go and do this work, but to actually get you stopped and to get you that forward momentum, you need to actually focus on the opposite. You need to focus on the future. And what I mean by this is you need a vision for your life that when you get out of bed in the morning, you're bouncing out of bed, you're throwing your clothes on, you're getting after it because you know where you're going. You have an end goal, you have a vision, you have a North Star that you're putting your energy towards. You need to wake up excited for your life. Listen, this channel is not for you. If you want to stop drinking and sit around all day watching Netflix, changing nothing, eating junk food, just doing nothing with your life, I'm the wrong person to listen to. I'm sure there's some other channels out there that might help you, but if you want to do that, what's the point? What's the point of even stopping drinking? You want to stop drinking because you've got a vision for your life, because you want to be the best version of yourself, because you want to get in better shape and set a better example to people and really step into that best version of you. That's what stopping drinking is all about. Stopping drinking is nothing. It's the first step to the new you. And really, you can do this. You can do all of the things that I've just told you right now. Those 5 secrets are things that you can apply today. You can start right now. And if you want to do it on your own, go ahead and do it. Take some notes, make a bit of a plan, write it down, and get to work. But just know that if you do this on your own, after trying to do this on your own already and failing again and again and again and again and again, what makes you think it's going to be different this time? Trying to stop drinking on your own is going to be harder. It's going to be more boring. It's going to be more difficult. Everything about it just sucks because there is another option and you and I can do this together. If we stop drinking together, the chance of you succeeding is way higher just based on statistics of my program. It's going to be so much more fun. It's going to be more rewarding. You're going to feel more accountable to somebody else. And most importantly, you will have a system to follow. And right now I am accepting clients in the Sober Clear Clear program. Now, what we'll do together in the Sober Clear program are two things. The first thing that we'll do is reframe the way that you view alcohol by using first principles thinking, which is a mental model, a problem-solving mental model. And this is all about getting you into a state of mind where it's like the desire to drink goes away. It's like a switch gets flicked in your brain. Listen, I know that sounds hard to believe, but just bear with me. But the first part of the program can work in as little as 48 hours. The second part of the program is all about focusing on the future. It's about working on your health, your relationships, your business, your spirituality, your productivity. It's about making all of this stuff the focus. And we do all of this with coaching, there's accountability, there's a community of business owners and professionals. And if you do it this way, the chance of you succeeding, it is 100 times higher than doing it on your own. So what I want you to do right now is book a roadmap call. What we'll do together on a phone call is I'll explain the exact process that you and I will follow to get you from where you are to where you want to be. That's from over drinking to being in complete control of your drinking, and how we're going to do it quickly. So if you click the link in the description, or you go to soberclear.com/now, or you scan the QR code that you should be able to see on the screen, it will take you to a calendar and you can answer a few short questions, and then you'll be able to choose a time to speak with me directly. I'm opening up 5 spots for the program right now, so if you want a spot, make sure to click the link immediately or go to soberclear.com/now, or if you're watching this on your TV, then just scan the QR code that you can see. Again, it's a step that all the people that you can see on the screen right now have already taken. These are people that are already in control of their drinking, they've made the change, they've booked a call, and that's what I'm going to ask you to do as well. Again, there are a limited number of spots available, and there's also a limited number of spots on the calendar itself. So if you're watching this, you want to click the link immediately, make sure there's still space on the calendar. Let's have a conversation. Can't wait to speak with you. If you click the link on this video, you will speak to me directly, nobody else. It will be you and I on a call. You've got nothing to lose and so much to gain. I'll speak with you soon.